Hello everyone and welcome to the Watkins Glen International Road Course for the running of the Havoline 200 here in the Crown Royal Truck Series. 3 races remain to decide our 10 chase contenders, as we already have drivers locking themselves in on points on wins and a lot of drama coming in to what should be a pure chaotic race. Watkins Glen always puts on a fantastic show. We've seen a lot of great battles, great passing, but we've also seen a ton of crashes, and that is going to probably be the same case here today at Watkins Glen on this road course, but I think the fans are ready to see it in action. SBR, give them a shout out. Aiden Smith and Matt Sladek will be rolling off on the front row today here at Watkins Glen. The DraftKings 83 and the Chelsea Football Club number 0 putting up some great performances in qualifying, get them to the top 2 spots. Alex Peters, Eric Monaco round out in row 2, and last week's winner Riley Spurleytube completes your top 5. He rolls off 5th today with Preston Emmons, of course, for the TRD, his best qualifying run of the season. A great road course driver, his only NSDCA win coming at Old Spice in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. He rolls off 6th. William Duncan in 7th, another great road course driver, looking for a great run today if he can keep that truck clean. And Matthew Brown, who is 31st in owner's points, fallen out of the top 30, not locked into the show, trying to lock himself in today. Austin Johnson and Tony Wallen round out your top 10. Christian Vargas rolls off in 12th in the Siemens number 08 for Sauber Racing Team. A fantastic drive there. Ethan Head in the 89 rolls off 15th. And give a shout out to KT Larson for Henson Racing, rolling off in the 18th position. A fantastic drive by the Henson Racing Team and a great qualifying setup. Got it into the show and into the field. Santiago Gutierrez, his second truck start, rolls off 20th. Vince Freeze, Jesse Turner starting 21st and 28th respectively are the two guys trying to fight to stay in for a wild card chance. Right now, Stephen Wallace Jr. 11th in points, about 60 points ahead, or 80 points ahead, I should say, of Vince Freeze and Jesse Turner. He's trying to maintain and keep a wild card spot while the 60 and 47 fight for the second one. Turner, though, trying to fight to stay in the top 20 in points, because if he falls out of that, he will not get the wild card spot. You have to be top 20 with a win to get the wild card spot. CFRO TSR starting near the back. Give a shout out here. Mac Johnson puts the Ronnie Hank Racing number 95 into the show. This was a bit of a controversial weekend for him, as Sam Picard for MJM was the first driver out in Go or Go Home qualifying. As well, the other RHR truck, the number 52 that normally runs a handful of starts in the truck series, they DNQ'd with Devin Fair. New sponsor on the 96 this week, Toradora for Dusty Neal, rolls off there. But Matthew Eves rolling off 37th at a road course for TSR. A horrible qualifying run for them. We'll see what Eves can do if he can drive his way through the field at the super speedway of road courses. And it's Tyler Jones, Mike Cook rounding out the field. 40 drivers, 21 laps here at Watkins Glen. It's going to be a chaotic race. The fans are going to be on their feet, and we'll see who will survive. It's a race of attrition like always at Watkins Glen, but it's sure to put on some great battling while we have the 40 trucks on the grid. Let's go head down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the Havoline 200 at the Glen.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired. We're rolling off for these 21 laps here at Watkins Glen. Aiden Smith, Matt Sladek, front row. Alex Peters, Eric Monaco, row 2. Field of 40 star-studded drivers here. This weekend, a couple interesting DNQs. Of course, you had the 07 of Sam Picard, who is a good road course driver. Devin Fair, who was trying to get the Ronnie Hank Racing 52 into the show. Logan Cloud and the 22 truck both DNQ'd for Simtech Racing Incorporated. However, the 22 truck was not driven by Maxwell Fye in qualifying. Team owner Jake Rose decided to go and call up a road course ace in Curtis Gates to drive the 22 in qualifying, and Curtis agreed. It would have been his first time ever driving one of these trucks, and it did not pay out. He was one of the slower trucks in the grid, and the 22 did not qualify. So Maxwell Fye not happy with that, especially when his contract does state he should be running the full season. And the NSDCA, you know, it wasn't his fault for Faye to DNQ that truck. It was not his fault. So he is not happy with Simtech Racing Incorporated right now. Team that is happy is SBR. They've been doing great on the road courses. They've been doing great this season. Aiden Smith, Matt Sladek, 2 drivers. They have never won in the National Series competition. Smith, of course, drove at Monster Motorsports last season in the Truck Series. Matt Sladek has been in the Mountain Dew Custom Series for SBR in the Zero car for the last 2 years. He was teammates first with Irving Allison, then Mikey Yamakaze, and now Sladek finally gets that promotion up. Eric Monaco is looking for a big points day here. That 4-team no wins this season needs to get some good points to move their way up. Riley Spurleytube, with the win, has locked himself into the chase. All he has to do is pretty much finish top 30 today, get some extra points there, and he should be locked in as well. Matthew Eves, with the 2 wins, has also locked his way into the chase. And if you're looking at it, Jose Perez, Antoine Smith, Ryan Butcher all have wins in the top 5 in points. They should theoretically be locked in. Now, something could happen if all 3 crash out and say a guy like Kobza, Johnson, Downey, Bright wins this race or at Chicagoland. You know, it could change a lot. But as it stands, those are the 5 that are locked in. Monaco, Alex Peters, Peter Onjak have pointed their way in currently, while Daniel Kobza, Austin Johnson, SWJ, Downey, Bright, Fletcher, and Hagen are all trying to do it as well. Aiden Smith starts on the pole. He's 16th in points. If he wins this race, it could give him a shot at making the chase. Same with Matt Sladek, who's been on the charge lately. But we are coming down the front straightaway, getting ready to go racing, coming down to the green flag, and we are racing. Watkins Glen is green. The Havoline 200 at the Glen is green. Oh, everyone tried to work through turn 1 cleanly, and Stephen Wallace Jr. and Vince Freeze, 2 drivers in an important battle to make the chase, both go spinning as Matt Sladek took the lead after Aiden Smith full sent it into turn 1, looking like the JRI teammates in the inaugural truck race there. Almost took each other out, but now Matt Sladek's out in front over Eric Monaco, Smith Peters, and Preston Emmons, your top 5, as we head into the carousel. A big passing opportunity right here as you come shooting off of it and down this long third straightaway here at Watkins Glen. Of course, we said this is the super speedway of road course racing. You're going to be seeing a lot of passing, a lot of battles, a lot of high speeds, and really, this is not too much of a technical road course like Road America. We saw earlier as Sladek's going to be the one bouncing off the wall. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead, and I think it's going to go to Aiden Smith leading him across the line. We'll see right there, and he did. So Aiden Smith is back into the lead, but he's going to throw it through turn 1 again as Eric Monaco now catches up with Alex Peters as the Zero truck has now lost some time. Looking through the field, you can never be too safe at Watkins Glen. There you see Freeze and SWJ. They spun, but they are already catching back up to the back of this pack. And that's just how, far they stretch out at Watkins Glen in the road courses already. The restarts are very weird with the, of course, that final set of corners. That's where you're restarting. But you already see 1 lap, and they're the entire back straightaway between them. Aiden Smith going to go to the outside line there. Monaco keeps it tight with Alex Peters. Side by side for 4th between Sladek and Emmons. We've seen a lot of great passing. Literally every corner on this track, now that they got rid of the bus stop, and of course we've been out of the bus stop here at Watkins Glen since I believe season number 2 of the Crown Royal Truck Series, so about 4 years, 3 or 4 years. This track has put on some amazing racing, and you can make a pass in any corner. And really, as high speeds as these are, your braking zones are just where you think you can, because all you got to really do is nail just to get through the corner, and then you're good after that, because you see, you can make moves through the S's, you can make moves in turn 1, you can make moves into the carousel and those final 2 corners, and that makes for some entertaining action the entire way around as we got a spin in the back. That's Alex Fletcher upside down on top of Patrick Smith. Zachary Fitzwater goes spinning, and now he's blocking the S's. Dusty Neal's in it. Mike Cook flips him upside down as Freeze and SWJ try to get through. And we got the big one here on the opening laps. We're under caution for the first time today now as we're coming back to lap number 3, and that is a handful of trucks damaged. Alex Fletcher, a championship chase contender. He's 14th in points, not what he needed. But as we come back around, Aiden Smith in the 83, he's going to nail that final corner and keep it on track. Spurley Tube, I don't know if he got the wall there or not, but Aiden Smith will lead us back around as Eric Monaco tried to get there. Alex Fletcher, that's going to probably end his hopes right there. Zachary Fitzwater torn up. This is one of Fitzwater's 2 final races that he had circled on his calendar for his final season. Ethan Head's car torn up. Ryan Butcher is torn up. That's probably going to take him out of the regular season title hunt. He was 52 points back coming into this. Now he's going to be at least a race behind there. And this is not good for CFRO. 2 of their 4 trucks, Dusty Neal and Patrick Smith, heavy damage there. Stephen Wallace Jr. got turned early. SWJ did end up making it through it, though. And Peter Onjak, he's right now sitting 12th in that 97. But that's not good, and that is going to probably take Patrick Smith out, too. Smith has been improving the last few races in the 94. He's up to 18th in the standings, but it was still a pretty far long shot. He would have been in must-win situation to make the chase. And that's what we're going to be talking about a lot for this race and the Chicagoland doubleheader in a couple weeks' time, both in the Cup and Truck Series for the next about 4 or 5 race weekends. So I hope you're ready for some points talking, because that is the major storyline. Of course, we'll be hitting the notes of this race, and we saw some great racing on that opening lap, and Aiden Smith was able to get that 83 back into the front. And most likely we're going to see some pit stops here 4 laps in. I believe the fuel window is about 7 to 9 laps. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly. So we'll see how it is here at Watkins Glen, but we'll see what it is. I completely forget what it was. But a lot of cars at least made it through that. Priya McShane has some damage. Mike Cook has damage. Patrick Smith, Dusty Neal both out. I think the other guys have retired their cars. Butcher, Head, Fitzwater, and Fletcher have all retired their cars. They will definitely join the other 2 CFRO trucks on in the garage there. So that's going to leave 34 cars on the field. And the other thing to point out about Watkins Glen, the smaller the field, the better the racing, probably. We saw some great races in the JROC we had that bus stop crash. I think the bus stop in the JROC was the reason we took it off, because there were just so many crashes out of it. But we've seen, once you get some of the early crashes out of the way, the racing gets real good, because you got less drivers, and now it's more a tactical run, a tactical race. And we're going to see right here, Aiden Smith's going to bring that field down pit road, and I imagine everyone should bring their car down pit road. I don't see why you wouldn't. It's a free pit stop right here. If you stay out, you just have to come in. Probably about 4 to 5 laps time, depending. Another good thing about Watkins Glen, the road courses in the NSDCA are only 2 pace laps. So that means this is the first pace lap, and all lap cars would be able to come down at this point as well. And then you go back out, and you basically just run around until you get back around and they turn the lights off on the backstretch and we get racing. So you don't lose a lot of time to the under the lights or under the yellow lights. And it looks like 2 tires, fuel only for some drivers. Matt Sladek's going to lose a ton of time on pit road. I don't think he can get out of his box in the 0 car, and he's going to lose a ton of time there. We'll get a quick strategy update as we get ready to go back racing, but we got a replay to check out for the first crash of the day here at the Glen. First into the day is a big one. Alex Fletcher, Patrick Smith get together in the S's. Smith is going to hit hard into that wall. Ethan Head also collected, but Fletcher goes for a wild ride. Hit by Butcher, lands upside down on top of the 94, but drives that 46 back around. His day still done. They took that truck behind the wall, but Patrick Smith, a vicious hit. Thankfully, it was the passenger side, but he did get hit by Ethan Head. Ryan Butcher taking a vicious hit to the 46 as well. But you see further up, Zachary Fitzwater, he's going to go spinning as well. Got this crash in front of him. Everyone's ducking to the grass trying to get through. You see Priya McShane come up and just drives right through the 59. Dusty Neal then has nowhere to go, nor does Mike Cook. And Neal, the second truck to flip in this crash. First caution of the day here at the Glen. Back live here at Watkins Glen. Getting ready to go back racing. Lap 6 of 21. Still a long way to go in this event. 6 trucks out of the race after the opening crash. Those being Ryan Butcher, Ethan Head, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Alex Fletcher, Patrick Smith, and Dusty Neal. Getting ready to go back racing here. A lot of different strategies. It was either 2 tires or fuel only. The fuel only trucks being Tony Wallen, Jose Perez, Spurley Tube, Duncan, Johnson, Onjak, Vargas, Antoine Smith, Rogers, Kobza, Bradley, Gutierrez, Bright, Nicky Morris, Mac Johnson, Srigley, and KT Larson. Everyone else took 2 tires, so we'll see what it'll be like. I would have thought maybe 4 tires would have been the key, but then you see everyone taking 2 and fuel. You'd lose a ton of time, probably be back where the crash is going to happen. Either way, we got 34 cars on the track still. Still a long way to go in this race, but we'll see if a smaller field will bring some better racing, some cleaner racing. It's Aiden Smith out in front over Eric Monaco, Tony Wallen in third, Riley Spurleytube fourth, and William Duncan in fifth. Perez, Johnson, Onjak Peters, and Christian Vargas round out your top 10. As we are getting ready to go back racing, coming through the final corner here at Watkins Glen, up the long straightaway. And here we go for another restart, the first restart of the day. Green flags in the air. We are racing. Wallen's going for it. Duncan's going for it all. We saw him do this at Old Spice in the Cup Series, but he's going to stay right behind Spurleytube. Let Spurleytube go up there and hit Wallen in Monaco. And there goes Tony Wallen in the 24. He's into the tire barriers, and that will bring out another caution immediately here at the Glen. As he got 2 aggressive down into 1, and that's going to take Tony Wallen out of the way as he meets the wall. And Riley Spurleytube now is the one chasing down Aiden Smith for that second spot. Good on William Duncan there in the 82 not to send it 4 wide, because that might have collected literally everyone else in that group. There it's only Tony Wallen that goes around as Spurleytube's looking to the very bottom trying to make a move. Look at Peter Onjak back there. He's the lone CFRO guy left, basically, with Stephen Wallace Jr. mired back in traffic. He's fighting William Duncan for that 4th spot as the top 3 start to pull away. Aiden Smith out in front of Spurleytube's going to run it wide. That's going to bring Jose Perez back into this fight as they come down through the final corner. And Aiden Smith almost is going to kiss the wall, just barely keeps it off of it, and he will lead us back around to the yellow flag off of that restart caution by the 24 of Tony Wallen. That car is done for Wallen there with that aggressive driving. But we're going to rack them back up. I don't know if anyone will pit. If they do, we'll get that information to you. Otherwise, we're going to let everyone rack back up, bring you guys back to the action after a quick replay, see what happened to Tony Wallen. Pretty much saw this live on the restart, but Tony Wallen, he's going to be swallowed up by a couple guys on his inside, his outside. Now he's 3 wide. Gets pushed up by Spurleytube. It's into Monaco. Monaco doesn't let up. The 24 goes into the tire barriers, and that day is done for a great run for that RER team. Back live here at the Havoline 200 at the Glen. Only 1 truck came down pit road that time. That was Mac Johnson. Topped that truck off on fuel in the 95. He will restart at the tail end of the field. 33 trucks left now as Tony Wallen. They're still working on that car as it got towed back to pit road, but most likely that 24's day will be done. Aiden Smith leads. Spurleytube's now 2nd. Perez 3rd. Onjak 4th. William Duncan 5th. Alex Peters 6th. Austin Johnson 7th. Eric Monaco 8th. Christian Vargas 9th. Preston Emmons 10th. Nice to see. We love it when we come to road courses and you see drivers up front that aren't usually there. Aiden Smith leading this race. William Duncan 5th. Vargas 9th. Emmons 10th. A fantastic run for them. Matthew Brown, Santiago Gutierrez, Zach Rogers, Matt Sladek. A fantastic top 15 there. You also got Larry Hagan trying to get himself towards the front as we go, and you see the rest of that field coming on around. But it is Aiden Smith, the DraftKings 83, out in front. As we said, Aiden sits 16th in points and has been slowly chipping away towards the top, but is most likely in must-win scenario for the chase. He is leading this race right now. Riley Spurleytube sits only 18 points over Matthew Eves. Spurleytube's trying to win the regular season title, so he gets those bonus points heading into the chase. Meanwhile, Matthew Eves is really just coming through your screen near the top there. He's been having a bad day so far at the Glen. Aiden Smith, Spurleytube, Perez Onjak, and William Duncan, your top 5, getting back racing here at the Glen for another restart. Green flags in the air. Let's see if this one will be clean. See Duncan trying to get all the moves he can in that 82. Alex Peters was going to go for it. Onjak's going to slide to the inside of Spurleytube. As Spurleytube really swung it out there sideways. Monaco as well. And looking through turn 1, we'll see if we keep it clean this time. And that we do, as you see Anderson Reed a bit further off the pace there. And Onjak had just a real poor exit coming off of turn 1. It's going to cost him a ton of time through the S's. And now down this long back straightaway. Watkins Glen, it's the super speedway of road courses because it's high speeds. It's also draft heavy. You see these guys snaking down the back straightaway. They always do it here, trying to break that draft because this track, you really could be setting yourself up for a big move just like that one as Smith goes wide. Spurleytube jumps to the bottom. Here we go for that race lead coming off the carousel. Doesn't look like Spurleytube's there, but he might be alongside him. Aiden's going to throw the block, slams the door on the 28, and Spurleytube's going to have to look for another way past the 83 at another point on this track. But here we come through the final corner again. Smith out in front over Spurleytube as we get the flyby as they sling it around the final corner. Come down to complete lap number, I believe this is completing lap number 9. Yeah, we're on to lap 10 here. So still 12 to go here at the Glen. Still a long time left for something to happen to any of these leaders, to any of these drivers in the field to change this race up as Aiden Smith now is still hanging on over Spurleytube as Riley's trying everything he can to get by this 83. Now he might have a run here coming off of the S's down the back straightaway. Perez and Onjak could be going at it too, but Spurleytube has the slipstream. You see Aiden trying to break it, trying to go defensive all over that 28, blocking him down into the carousel. But Aiden, he bit off way more than he could chew, and that's going to send that 83. He's going to keep it off the tire barriers as Perez and Onjak are side by side, and that's new race leader Riley Spurleytube in the 28. Pressured Aiden Smith into a mistake, and it's going to cost that 83 the race lead. William Duncan now looking for a move on Onjak. Onjak has really been getting aggressive with these moves, but it's costing him some time in the race as we come on through, and Spurleytube's back into the wall down in the final corner, and that's going to be Aiden Smith back to the lead. Perez jumps to second, Onjak third. Duncan might take fourth away from Riley as they head down into 1, and there goes the 82 right to the bottom. Nothing going to be there as Spurleytube pinched him off right there. Now the field's going to work their way through the S's. See, these guys are being a bit more conservative now. They're kind of just maintaining their distance, maintaining their pace, and not really getting too aggressive. First battle on the track is KT Larson versus Gatlin Downey for the 18th position. And give a shout out to Henson Racing looking for a top 20 here. There's Mac Johnson, that 95 truck. He must have came back down pit road. There must be something wrong with it. For the RHR, he is way off the pace. Now Perez has Onjak on the back of him. We'll see if Peter gets the run off the corner. It's going to be Spurleytube getting the run on Onjak, though, for this third position. And we'll see what Spurleytube can do down into the final 2 as Colton Lane goes wide at the back. And now Spurleytube's all over the back of him. Alex Peters looking for the 5th position on William Duncan. And Alex Peters, a good run here. He has 1 race win, which could lock him into the chase as Perez and Onjak are going to get into the wall further up. Pushing. That's going to allow Spurleytube by. Now Duncan's going to cut across in front of Alex Peters, and that was for second. Now Duncan's making the move on Perez. Onjak's trying to stay in third as Duncan does a slide job on Perez. Perez had to slow down. That's Preston Emmons spinning at the back of this one. But we stay green as Matthew Brown 3 wide. Now he's trying to gather that truck back up. He's into the grass. Please. Oh, Matthew Brown, keep it clean. Oh, him and Cobbs are going to make some contact as he tries to rejoin. But that is big for Preston Emmons. It looks like Colton Lane has some damage to that 27 as well, or when we're still not under caution. Oh, man, Lane was close with Reed there. But it's Aiden Smith out in front now by a large margin over Spurleytube as the race leaders keep dropping like flies. Now Zach Rogers runs wide. Gutierrez is trying to hold off Matt Sladek. Duncan is trying to get around Onjak. He's going to send it in right into the back and up on the bear. Wow, look at him just hop the rumble strips coming through that corner. And it's going to lose him maybe 2 spots there. Got that truck really unsettled. And Alex Peters, Jose Perez both going to go right on by him. Santiago Gutierrez, I think, just hit the wall back there. Look at Austin Johnson, Antoine Smith inside the top 10 as the top 10 pull away. Sladek now fighting Gutierrez. You got Hagan in the 25. Hagan, I thought, was about to send it 3 wide. It looked like he thought better of that. Gatlin Downey, Zach Rogers. 1 more truck off, and it's William Duncan. That is heartbreaking there as he just barely misses Dylan Young. We'll get replays of all this soon, but that is heartbreaking. A top 5 run going up for Duncan. As there you see his boss, Matthew Eves. Eves has made it up to 23rd just by probably sheer willpower. But it's not really doing too good for him as Colton Lane's bringing that 27 down pit road. I think Colton Lane, he's 22nd in points now. I think Lane, it'd need a miracle at Chicagoland like last season to get him back into the chase. Aiden Smith's out in front. We got a big battle for fifth, though. Monaco, Perez, Johnson, Antoine Smith. Monaco throwing the block on Perez. Antoine trying to get around Austin Johnson. 4 trucks under a blanket right here as Onjak and Alex Peters try to pull away further up. It looks like, oh man, Peter got real close to the wall there as they go. Now Antoine, he's going to finish that move on the outside of Johnson with a much better run coming off of the final corner here at the Glen. Alex Peters now hunting Peter Onjak as Onjak can really point his way in. It's just a matter of time, though. Like we said with Riley Spurleytube, it's a matter of time till this 97 wins a race. And you saw Spurleytube, he won at DuQuoin. Now I think it's Onjak's turn in a couple weeks here when he goes to Chicagoland in front of the home crowd. I think he wants to get that team race victory. But Aiden Smith is enjoying himself without any pressure now out in front in this 83. And he's going to run. He's really liking that outside line. We've seen him working that through the carousel a lot, trying to carry some momentum off the corner. And I swear caution is out. I thought I saw the yellow flag, and now Aiden Smith is going to lead him back around. We're probably going to see our final round of pit stops here. Coming up, it'll be lap 16 when these guys make their final round of pit stops. Oh, so close to the wall was Aiden. Pushing it to the line, and he will lead them back. And his almost 2-second, or his over 2-second advantage will be diminished now, as we will rack them back up and get going again. Looks like Mike Cook. Looks like it might have been Mike Cook in the 81 going around there. Emmons, Reed were already back there, so was Mac Johnson. So we'll get a quick replay. Most likely bring you guys back for pit stops. And then the green flag here. It's going to be probably about 5 or 6 laps to go when we go back racing. Should be a great shootout to the end. Can Aiden Smith hang on these pit stops? What will the strategy be? 2 tires, 4 tires, no tires? We'll see what it is when we come back here at the Glen. We had a multitude of incidents in the last few laps, but here's Preston Emmons' incident. Did not bring out a caution. Matthew Brown just kind of drove straight through him when he hit the corner. Colton Lane also comes in. This is where he gets his damage. Lane just goes up, gets a bump from the 98 into the 71. 27 truck, his day done pretty much. William Duncan as well. He's going to hook into the back of Jose Perez and spins himself out. This also didn't cause the caution because this incident with Alex Peters did. Peters is going to straight up miss the carousel right into the back of Onjak, and it sends him into the tire barriers very hard for that 45 car. Onjak and Alex Peters both on the wild card hunt, trying to stay in the top 8. We'll see what happens after this restart. Back live here at the Glen. Most likely coming to pit stops here to end this Havoline 200. If anyone stays out, it's a boneheaded move, I feel. Or everyone's going to stay out, so maybe the fuel window is definitely not 9 laps like I thought it was. I didn't think it'd be 16, though, as we're going on around. But everyone is going to stay out that I see. And the rest of the field's going to come on around. And Nicky Morris is going to pit, so Nicky is trying to play a game there. And as we stand, all trucks are still on the lead lap, so no need for a free pass. Aiden Smith, Riley Spurleytube, Peter Onjak, Eric Monaco, Antoine Smith sneaking into the top 5. Jose Perez 6th, Austin Johnson 7th, Christian Vargas 8th, Matt Sladek 9th, and the 10th position is Santiago Gutierrez. So Aiden Smith right now. So what we're seeing here is we're probably making it to the end of the race on this round because I don't see these guys pitting if they all stayed out here. So if these guys make it to the end, can Aiden Smith win this race and put himself into the chase with a race win? Because as it stands right now, Vince Freeze, let's take a look at the wild card drivers as they still stand. Vince Freeze, he's 23rd. He has the 1 win. Jesse Turner is up to 17th. He has 1 win. Stephen Wallace Jr., who is ahead of all of those guys, he's 24th. He has 1 win. Aiden Smith is 16th in points, leading this race. Now, Alex Peters just crashed out. That's going to probably drop him out of the top group. But a race win right here for Aiden would bring him, I think, he's 80 points as it stands behind Stephen Wallace Jr., about 80 points behind Stephen Wallace Jr. So it wouldn't bring him too far, but it'd gain him probably about half of that, and he'd just have to start fighting into Chicagoland or just hoping we get no new winner. next week. But remember, this season, 9 different winners in 10 races. To extend that to 10 of 11, Aiden Smith, Peter Onjak, or Eric Monaco from the top 5 would have to win. Don't count out Austin Johnson, Christian Vargas, Matt Sladek, even Santiago Gutierrez, Hagan, Downey, Rogers back there. So there's a lot of guys who could get their first win today on the season that are in this top group. It looks like the only one in the top 10 being Riley Spurleytube, who won DuQuoin, Antoine Smith, who won Michigan, and Jose Perez, who won the first Pocono event. Either way, we'll see if we get this race to the end, how it'll look. Will we be pitting? If we get another caution, will we pit then? Let's see what happens here in the final closing laps of the Havoline 200 at the Glen. It's going to be a 5-lap dash to decide the race win. Aiden Smith over Spurleytube, Onjak, Monaco, and Antoine Smith in your top 5. Coming down the front straightaway, we're getting ready to go back racing. Green flag is in the air. We're racing again at the Glen. Spurleytube does not get going. Onjak jumps to the outside. Austin Johnson's getting aggressive further back. 3 wide for the 77. And now Onjak all over the back of the 28 as Perez is shoving the 00 through the corner. And coming through turn 1, we always make a check. Make sure everyone made it through at least the opening corner good. And Aiden Smith is back out to pulling away as Spurleytube fights now Monaco jumping to the inside of boss man Onjak. Maybe Onjak's a bit more concerned with the 4 than he is of himself. Both of these guys are 6th and 8th in the standings, the only 2 in the points, in the top 8 in points without a win. They're trying to point their way in, and just like at DuQuoin, these 2 are fighting for a top 5 spot here at the end, but at least this time, both of them are fighting for the top 5. Look at Christian Vargas with the move on the outside in the 35. A big move there by Vargas. Remember, he's one of the guys with the fresh 2 tires. That took it under that first well, no, he went fuel only. Never mind. I missed that on there. Vargas, Antoine Smith went fuel only. I think we're under another yellow. Never mind. That was just the caution lights and how they look. We're going to get a flyby through the corner. Aiden Smith out in front. Spurleytube was hanging it all out coming through the final corner. And the rest of the field's just working their way through. And it looks like we're going to be at least clean for 1 lap. Let's see how long that lasts as Riley Spurleytube sets his sights on Aiden Smith. Monaco, Onjak, Antoine Smith, your top 5. Top 10 now single file. Looks like these guys up front just want to get this race to the end while everyone in the back is trying to get as many spots as they can. There's Jesse Turner. He needs points. He knows that he needs a ton of points to start moving his way back up for a wild card spot. He's not gaining too much, but at least he's gaining some on Freeze. That's who he wants to gain on. You got Matthew Eves back there. This could really lock up the regular season title for Spurleytube today if he runs and finishes in this 2nd or 1st position. But I think a top 5 would do it nonetheless as Antoine Smith sends that 00 to the inside of Onjak. And Spurleytube got the run coming down this straightaway. What's he going to do is he's back on Aiden as they head down into the final 2 corners. Aiden gets up on the curb a little bit, and that's going to bring Spurleytube down to the inside here for the final corner. Looking for that race lead as Aiden goes wide. Spurleytube getting the exit off the corner. Onjak's in, and here we go. And like we said, this is going to come down to fuel at the end as Spurleytube is going to dive it to the inside of Smith, but Aiden's going to outbreak them all. He sends it through the corner, and here comes Spurleytube back up the inside. This is the battle for the lead, but will they have enough fuel to make it to the end? Aiden carries for now, but Spurleytube's going to have the preferred line coming through and off of the S's, but no, he had to check up just a little bit. Aiden keeps it as Monaco in the 4 is trying to get up there. Monaco doesn't want to have to fall back on a wild card if he doesn't have a win in that 4 truck. Down the back straightaway, the field's all splintered up. We'll see what it'll be. We got 3 laps left. A green-white checker. No one's making it, of course, except the guys that just pitted. Spurleytube had Monaco all over the back of him. Monaco really going to send it wide as he bumped the 28 out of the way. That's Smith now into 3rd, and we'll see if these guys now have to pit up front. Who saved enough fuel to make it to the end? And Aiden Smith coming through these final corners again. We'll take a look. We will see. Do they pit? Aiden stays out. Spurleytube stays out. Antoine Smith ducks it in. KT Larson is stalled on pit road. A major issue on the 23 as everyone else is coming down pit road. And now we got just a handful of drivers staying out. Well, maybe a bit more than a handful, but a ton are staying out. Now, what you are looking at, let's see if we can find them. Let's see if we can find them in time. Mac Johnson just came back down. I think that's... Oh, Matthew Brown and Cobbs have just made contact. Spurleytube's out in front. I'm trying to find where is Nicky Morris. in the 7. Did he come back down? Nicky must have came back down, because I thought he came in under that last caution and would have been fine. But out in front, it's Aiden Smith and Riley Spurleytube. We're coming to the white flag. Did they save enough to make it to the end? Coming off the carousel, Aiden has never won a Crown Royal Truck Series event. Riley Spurleytube won his race last week, looking for the 10th out of 11 different winners this season. If Aiden Smith can hang on with enough fuel, he has the gap to Spurleytube. If he needs to save, he can save as he runs it wide coming off the corner. He and Spurleytube stay out, so does Monaco and Vargas. Coming down the front straightaway, the final time, Aiden Smith is looking to get his maiden NSDCA win. He sends it into the corner. Spurleytube cut it a little closer. It's going to gain him just slightly, but he'd have to gain a second on that 83 as this race goes. Aiden Smith is out in front trying everything he can to win this. Did anyone else come down and pit? No, they didn't, except for Mike Cook. This shakes up everything as it's Aiden Smith out in front. Onjak has a problem. The 97 truck is at the tail end of the field, looking like it's off the pace. But coming around through the carousel the final time, Aiden Smith has never won a Crown Royal Truck Series event. He said this year he's at SBR. He thinks he's prepared more for this truck season. He's had special schemes all season long. He loves this team. He's been enjoying driving here. And through the final 2 corners, Eric Monaco spun out by Vargas. Coming through the final corner, Aiden Smith, sleek and swift, is going to steal it and win a dominant race at the Glen. Contact for 5th. Logan Bradley moves Jesse Turner out of the way. We'll see where Eric Monaco comes home at. Preston Emmons might have just... no, he's going to take 11th. No, he might steal a top 10. No, I guess that's Priya McShane. Monaco does not finish the race. Christian Vargas has made an enemy of someone in the garage. You got a ton of Toyotas finishing this. All these guys ended up not having enough fuel. KT Larson was on pit road for a while, but Aiden Smith, the DraftKings 83, is going to bring it home. Aiden Smith is the winner at Watkins Glen, his first career win, and the 10th different winner in 11 races this season. SBR, I believe, takes their first win on the year? No, Antoine Smith. Yeah, Antoine Smith won earlier, but that means both of SBR's up-and-coming drivers here, and Aiden Smith and Antoine Smith, the Smiths that are not related, both have gotten their first win this season. And what a drive it was by Aiden. He dominated that race. I guess that shows some SBR power there. Heartbreaking for RHR. They have some kind of mechanical failure at the end. Heartbreaking for Eric Monaco, but he is fuming in that truck. You see he's going to take that 4 out of pit road. I think he's going to at least try to finish the race. He's going to take another lap, but give a shout out. Even at the end, Jesse Turner saved enough. He comes home 6th. Preston Emmons 11th. Matthew Eves recovered to 8th. And Eves is out of fuel. Eves and Vargas are both out of fuel there at the end. Anderson Reed gets 13th. Not what other guys wanted. A lot of drivers. KT Larson was running top 20 all race long. She hasn't been an issue at the end. It costs her. Nikki Morris is having a Nikki Morris time back there. And Peter Onjak, whatever happened to him, he's 27th at the end. Not a good time for that 97 team. But either way, that's the end of the race. It was Watkins Glen, but it really seemed a bit more calm. Other than that first bigger crash, we really didn't see much in terms of it at the end. We saw a lot of fuel strategy going out the window here at the road courses. It's always hard to... Really, I don't know if we've ever had a fuel strategy run to the finish at Watkins Glen, so I'm sure the teams didn't even know what the fuel was. But at the end of that, Aiden Smith wins. And that will currently put him into the chance for a wild card spot. He'll be fighting Jesse Turner, Vince Freeze, Stephen Wallace Jr., and I have not seen the points yet, but Alex Peters is going to lose a ton of time to Daniel Kobza. Peter Onjak lost points too. Austin Johnson, I think, came home fairly decently. Austin Johnson came up 16th, so I think Johnson and Cobbs might have jumped Peters and Onjack in the points. Now that puts pretty much the battles Alex Peters, Stephen Wallace Jr., Aiden Smith, Vince Freeze, and Jesse Turner for those 5 wildcard spots, or for the two of the wildcard spots for those 5 drivers. So we'll see what it looks like here at the end. But nonetheless, the race is over. Aiden Smith is your winner and gets to celebrate for the first time in his career, hanging on over Riley Spurleytube in a hard-fought win. Spurleytube not going to lock up the regular season title here, but extends his points lead. We'll see how it all fares. With 2 races left in the regular season, the doubleheader at Chicagoland. It's 2 off weeks as the Cup Series goes racing at Michigan and Daytona for solo weekends. We'll see how that goes for all the series involved, but these truck guys get a couple weeks break before they head out to Chicagoland. An action-filled race today. The Cup Series will be back here tomorrow for the Watkins Glen Cup race. That'll probably be as exciting as this one was. Aiden Smith comes home with the victory. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.